Amir Shaker speak
Amir
finding
Shakur,
greatest
y'all.
in urban
Hey, listen, I just
communities.
wanted to touch base with you. This is a short take, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, in reference to just something that had came across my mind. And like I've been doing consistently, it's all about, from my perspective, things that I had experienced. And hopefully y'all can go ahead and elaborate on them from, your global world view, where you stand, where you sit. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like my life and like things that I had been going through, things that I had experienced. Uh, Wanted to touch base about that greatness piece. So greatness, and what it looks like, especially in like black communities, urban communities, poor communities. How do you determine the model and the paradigm for greatness? Well, first thing I would like to say is there is power and strength on those streets. Streets of Chicago, the streets of Harlem, the streets of New York, the streets of Compton, streets of LA. You know, that is a primary paving ground for greatness, right? Okay, just wanted to get that out. The jails. Minister Malcolm X came from the jails, from the lowest aspect of society, and he rose up to become one of the greatest international leaders. Greatness is in the jails. Greatness is in the streets. Greatness is in the place that you least expect it. Now, the places that we expect it, and we get product that, look, man, where did you come from? Harvard or Princeton and all that. And I'm not putting down higher education or some of these quote unquote Ivy League type deals. But, when it comes down to the average populace and the way that we think and the way that we communicate and the way that we live our lives, some of these people can't get at us. Some of these people can inspire us. But the OG who just got out of prison got so much knowledge. The average kid in the hood is listening in the ear and saying, man, I want to be like you, OG. And that's why you see criminal activity, because it starts off at a young age, but the models and the paradigms that we see coming from the jails or coming from the streets, they speak louder to you than the preacher do, or than the professor do. They speak louder to the hearts of those because they see it every day and they see the lifestyle, they see the success, if you want to call it that. So we got to think about these things and how it is that the rose comes up from the concrete and it inspires those to be greater, to go farther, to think harder. I'm a product of being a poor urban child, and I didn't have where else to go. So I came through music. God saved me through music and poetry, and I developed a love for that. Then came after that. Then came the faith-based thing, and I developed a love for that because there were paradigms, people who reached out to me, and I loved what they were saying in the words because they were inspiring. Then after that, when words seemed to not be enough, but I wanted to see it in action, the minister aspect kicked in, but also there was variations of music which I could reach bigger people. Journalism came, and I started learning how to write my ideas and put my ideas down. To make a long story short, we have to learn how to cast out and start with the fundamental basics. I look back in my life and some other people's lives and how they parallel when it comes to doing things on a larger scale. And they all start off, a lot of them start off minimal. Let me tell you the other factor that I know that's a primary factor for greatness. You want to know what that is? Failure. I'm going to say that again. One of the biggest things that if you talk to anybody who's aspired to higher heights, they felt their way. They failed time and time and time again. But the thing about it is they persevered through, and they didn't let that stop them. So if I were to say the two or one most dominant factor in a person who is going to be great. They persevere through it all, through the rain, through the sun, through the snow, and back again. They don't let anything stop them because they stay determined, and they fall on their face. They pick their face back up off the ground and they get up and they keep on pushing. So, one thing that I would also like to say is, we look at paradigms for Hollywood or paradigms from the political office and all of that. We got to stop looking at them people. I say that all the time. I don't half say it. I say it in full. People, we got to find different models for what we feel like is greatness, because not only are we watching, but the kids is watching, and the kids are the future. But if we're not inspiring them right to be great, then what are we doing? And the other thing is, stop separating them from their wisdom base, like the elders. We see a lot of kids who they don't respect elders, and that's a newer generational thing. That didn't happen in prior generations. Even my generation, where that started. We got to keep the elders and the people with wisdom. We got to learn how to plug and keep them close, especially to the youth, because if they're telling them that, then they're going to respect it. So anyway, I just want to end up by saying two things. The strength of the community, the knowledge of a community. A community must rise up above ignorance. It's ignorance. And for us, if we are looking at education as a determination for greatness, I think we might be looking in the wrong area, but we got to look at the least of these. We got to start with the small things when people are inspired, children are inspired, and we can turn that into greater things. I just think that, we're looking at keys the wrong way, and there's a code of the universe that we can watch, and we got to start watching it. Amir Shakur Speaks. I just want to throw that out there. Hey, listen, watch from my radio show and my TV broadcast, Amir Shakur Speaks. Just a short take about greatness. What do y'all think, all right? So I look for y'all comments. I look for y'all to share the knowledge. Hopefully it made sense, but peace and love, and we'll be at it again. Peace.